Hi, good evening students. Now we are going to explain the formation of a PN junction in the semiconductors. We have studied in our earlier class the two types of semiconductors are what intrinsic and the extrinsic semiconductors. The impure semiconductors are otherwise called as extrinsic semiconductors. Again there are of two kinds, P type and N type. So P type, the P stands for positive type, and in N type, N stands for negative type. What is positive there? In the P type extrinsic semiconductors, P stands for positive. That means the positively charged holes are the majority charge carriers. And in N type semiconductors, N stands for what? Negative. It means what? The negatively charged electrons are the majority charge carriers. Okay students, now we are going to see what will happen if a P-type semiconductor is brought in contact with the N-type semiconductor. Suppose if two oppositely doped semiconductors are brought in contact, means there will be a common region or layer in contact. That only is called the junction. Otherwise we can take a pure semiconductor like germanium or silicon, and one half of the crystal may be doped with trivalent impurities, so that on the left side P type semiconductor is formed, and on the other side of the pure semiconductor pentavalent impurities can be doped with the semiconductor, so that it forms a N type semiconductor. So that the common region of contact only is called as the junction. So my dear students, this is the meeting point of the end of the P region and the left end of the N region. This only is called as the junction. Now, whenever there is a junction between the P type and N type crystal is made, what is going to happen is very interesting. Two very important phenomena are going to take place. So what are the two important phenomena? See here, I will write the two important phenomena taking place soon after the formation of the junction. One is called diffusion, okay, one is called diffusion, and the other one is called as drift. So diffusion and drift. So the first one is called diffusion, the second one is called the drift. So we are going to study what is meant by diffusion and what is meant by drift. Before that, now you look at the picture. I said the left side of the crystal is doped with trivalent impurities. As a result, it becomes a P-type semiconductor. And the right half of the crystal is doped with pentavalent impurity atoms. As a result, the right end acts as a N-type semiconductor. Now, first of all, my dear students, what is meant by trivalent impurity atom? A trivalent impurity atom, for example, I can take aluminium, indium, boron, like that many atoms are there. I have taken a boron atom. What is the valency of a trivalent impurity atom? Valency is 3. So, how many electrons are in the outermost orbit? So, the valence shell has 3 electrons. So, this is 1, 2 and 3 electrons. So when this atom is mixed with a pure semiconductor like germanium or silicon, the crystal lattice of germanium and silicon, if you notice, means everywhere covalent bond is being formed. Every silicon atom is forming a covalent bond with the neighboring silicon atoms by sharing of electrons, because the valency of germanium and silicon in the pure semiconductors is 4, because pure semiconductors are tetravalent. But when you dope this impurity atom such as boron, which is trivalent, means it has only 3 electrons. How many bonds it can form with the germanium or silicon atoms? Only 3 bonds can be formed. So one more bond is incomplete. So here there will be a vacancy. Understand students? There is a vacancy, and here an electron is required to complete the 4th bond. So this vacancy can be called as a hole. We have studied in the previous lecture what are electrons and holes, how are holes created and all we have studied. Okay students, now what is meant by pentavalent impurity atom? Let us see now. For example, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth, many examples we have studied in the previous class. Now I take a phosphorus atom. Phosphorus is pentavalent, is it not? Phosphorus is pentavalent. So what should be the valency of phosphorus? It is 5. So when you dope the pentavalent impurity, okay, with the pure semiconductor crystal, each impurity atom is having 5 valence electrons, out of which only 4 are shared with the neighboring silicon or germanium atoms. So with the pure crystal, 4 covalent bonds are completed, and the 5th electron will be a stray electron, which is a free electron, which is freely wandering here and there on the crystal lattice. So this can donate for electrical conduction. So this electron is now the extra electron which is not involved in the bond, and hence it is called as a free electron. So my dear students, this is why we say that in the P region or the P-type semiconductor, holes are the majority charge carriers, and in the N-type semiconductor, electrons are the majority charge carriers. Again I am repeating, my dear students, in the P region, now you are looking at the red color circles. Each red color circle is the impurity atom, such as what? A trivalent impurity atom, such as what? Boron. And why there is a plus sign above that circle I have marked? It means that it has a hole or vacancy and it is ready to accept an electron at any time. That's the meaning. So I have mentioned here each circle, red color circle with a plus sign over its head is what? The impurity atoms. And these plus symbol are called as the holes. And these holes are large in number than the free electrons. So free electrons are also present in the P region. But who is more in number? The holes are more than the free electrons. So in the P region, my dear students, the holes are the majority charge carriers, while the free electrons are minority charge carriers. Both are present, but holes are large in number. Okay, now coming to the N side of the junction, you see that every blue circle is represented with one minus sign above it head. What is the meaning of a minus sign? Each blue circle is an impurity atom. What type of impurity atom I told you? It is pentavalent impurity atom such as phosphorus. Pentavalent means 5 electrons are there in the outermost shell, out of which 4 are bonded with the crystal lattice. So each impurity atom is now ready to donate 1 electron. That is why I have kept them on the head. Okay students. So in the N region, who will be the majority charge carriers? The electrons. Holes also will be present, is it not? See here, the P region and N region are respectively doped with the trivalent and pentavalent impurity. In addition to that, the pure crystal atoms like silicon or germanium will also be there. As a result, holes as well as the electrons are present on both sides of the junction. But who is outnumbering the other is to be noted. So in the P region, holes are large in number as majority charge carriers, and in the N side of the junction, electrons are the majority charge carriers. So in the P region also, electrons will be present, but as minority charge carriers. Like that, in the N side of the junction, here also holes will be present as minority charge carriers. Now, just let us compare. If you compare the number of holes in the P region with the number of holes in the N region, the concentration of holes will be more on the P side of the junction. Understand? Than the number of holes present on the N side of the junction. So I can say there is a difference in the density of holes across the junction, or the concentration of the holes will be different in the P region and the N region. As a result of this difference in the concentration of the majority charge carriers, there is a natural tendency of the holes to diffuse into the other side of the junction. From a higher concentration to a lower concentration, you have studied diffusion, osmosis and all, is it not? Like that here, the concentration of holes in the P region is greater than the holes present in the N region. So the holes will diffuse. The holes will diffuse from the P region into the N region. Okay, my dear students. So there is a diffusion of the holes from the P region into the N region. Similarly, the majority charge carriers, namely the electrons, their concentration will be more in which region? N region. Understand that? And the concentration of electrons in the P region will be lesser. As a result, what will happen? You see here, there is a diffusion of the electrons from the N region into the P region. So this phenomenon only is called as what? Diffusion. Take care that the diffusion is always happening due to the flow of majority charge carriers. Keep in your mind, diffusion is mainly due to or only due to the majority charge carriers, namely holes from the P region into the N region and electrons from the N region to the P region. So the direction of diffusion of the holes is from P region to the N region. It is opposite to that of the diffusion of the holes from the N region to the P region. And here recombination of holes and electrons will take place. This process is very important. So recombination of holes and electrons. So what do you mean by recombination? See, for example, this atom where it has one excess of electron, no, this will diffuse into the P region of the junction, so that this electron will leave the site and enter into the P region, and it will occupy the hole which was already present with this impurity atom. So my dear students, here this atom loses a negative charge, and on the P side of the junction this atom receives an electron and hence it loses a hole. That is why this atom which is donating the electron, this atom, impurity atom, is a pentavalent impurity atom. It has 5 electrons. It is donating 1 electron to the atom on the other side. Understand? So it donates 1 electron. As a result, it becomes a positive ion. Now on the P side of the junction, this trivalent atom is having one shortage of electron which is called a hole. So that hole is now occupied by the electron which is donated by the pentavalent impurity atom. So on the other side, P side of the junction, the trivalent impurity atom is accepting 1 electron, and this hole is compensated and recombined with the electron donated by the pentavalent impurity atom. As a result, this accepts an electron and hence it becomes what? A negative ion. This is why in the previous class we have taught the donor impurity atoms. Understand? Donor impurity atoms are what? Pentavalent impurity atoms. And the trivalent impurity atoms are called acceptor. They are ready to accept the electron. That is why they are called acceptor impurity atoms. Now you see the picture and answer my question. This atom which was in the N region of the junction has donated 1 electron. After donating, can this atom remain as an atom? No. Because it has lost 1 negative charge. So it becomes ion, is it not? Okay, if it donates a negative charge means, what is the polarity of that ion? Yes, it must be a positive ion. Okay, after donating 1 electron, it has become a positive ion. And like that, one set or one row of particles will recombine, so that this negative charges will be donated and this row of impurity atoms will gain positive charge and they become positive ions. Similarly, on the other side of the junction, these impurity atoms will accept 1 electron and become what? Accept or impurity ions, which are negative. Understand, students? Like this, how long this will take place, to how much extent it will take place. This cannot take place throughout the length of the crystal. Understand? The concentration gradient across the junction, that within a very small region of about 1/10 of a micrometer or 1 micrometer only it will happen. So what I am saying is, see here, in this on both sides a small width, say for example this width is 10 to the power of 10 to the power of minus 6 meter, that is called 1 micron. So 1/10 of a micron up to 1 micron width only, this exchange of charges and recombination will take place. So I can show you in this picture one more row of particles. See here, this atom is losing 1 electron. Like that, this row of impurity atoms are now ionized. So they become positive ions. Like that, this row of atoms will gain electron and become what? Negative ions. Have you all understood, my dear students? So previously, the row of impurity atoms which are present on both sides of the junctions have become now immobile ions. Already we know that ion is heavier than the electron, is it not? Electron and hole are called free charge carriers. Though hole is not a particle, but it is having a direction of motion. Is it not? It is equivalent opposite to that of the direction of motion of the free electrons. So it can be considered to be equivalent to a particle which is positively charged, though it is not a material particle. Okay, students? But what about the ions? Ions are very heavy. They cannot move. They are immobile ions. So, my dear students, on both sides of the junction, you can see that the positively charged immobile ions are formed on the N region of the junction. N region of the junction. And the negative immobile ions are formed on the P region of the junction only within a small width of how much? 1 micron or 1/10 of a micron only. Okay, students? So, this is mainly happening due to which phenomenon I told you? Due to the diffusion. So, here on the N region of the junction and the P region of the junction, you can very clearly notice that there is a potential difference created. There is a potential difference. So now you see on which side of the junction is a positive potential created, you tell me. So on the N region of the junction there is a positive potential. Okay, students? So there is a positive potential developed, and on the P region of the junction there is a negative potential developed. So the positive potential on the N side of the junction is due to the formation of immobile positive ions, and the negative potential on the P region of the junction is due to the formation of the negative immobile ions. So once this potential difference is established, further migration of charges cannot take place. Further migration of free electrons and holes cannot take place. Why? Because once this positive potential is established on the N side of the junction, suppose if further holes try to migrate, means they will be repelled. They will be repelled by the positive potential. Understand? So this is called positive potential space inside the crystal lattice. Similarly, this negative potential space inside the crystal lattice will repel back the further migration or diffusion of the electrons. So all this will happen only for a fraction of a second and within a small region of 1 micron or 1/10 of a micron. Once this potential difference is established, further migration of charges cannot take place at all. So, my dear students, if you divide this potential difference, okay, this potential difference, okay, which is denoted by VB, by the distance between the two or the width of the region where the immobile ions are formed means, then that is called as an electric field. Okay, students, potential difference divided by the distance only is called as what? The electric field. So, as a consequence of this potential inside this region, an electric field is created. Okay, now I said the two important phenomena responsible for the formation of the p-n junction are what? Diffusion and drift. So first one we have understood what is meant by diffusion. So diffusion means what? The migration of the charge carriers from higher concentration to the lower concentration is called as what? Diffusion. We have studied. As a result of diffusion of these majority charge carriers, a current will flow, and that is called as diffusion current. Okay, students. So you see here this term diffusion current we have studied. This diffusion current will flow inside this p-n junction because of the majority carriers. Due to the flow of the majority charge carriers, the diffusion current will flow. As a result of diffusion, a positive potential is established on the n side of the junction. Negative potential is established on the p side of the junction. As a result, electric field is established. An electric field is established across the junction. Now you carefully listen, one very interesting phenomenon is going to happen. Once the electric field is established, you see, this positive potential of this electric field will attract the electrons from the p region. I told you in the beginning of the topic itself, in the p region, holes are present as majority carriers. Along with them, the minority charge carriers will also be present. Who are the minority charge carriers in the p region, my dear students? Electrons. These minority charge carriers will be pulled by the electric field. The positive side of the electric field in the n region will attract the minority charge carriers inside the p region, namely the electrons. So what these electrons will do against this potential wall created, which acts like a barrier, they will penetrate through the barrier and try to reach into the n region. Very interesting, is it not? See, holes are the majority charge carriers in the p region. Along with them, who are present as minority charge carriers? The free electrons. These electrons are attracted towards the n side of the junction where there is a positive potential of the electric field. So the electric field will pull the electrons from the p region into the n region. This process of movement against some barrier is called as what? Drift. We already studied drift velocity. V drift is equal to equation and all we have studied E by m into tau in the current electricity chapter. So the electrons are now drifting towards the positive side of the electric field. Similarly, the holes are the minority charge carriers in the n region. They will be attracted by the negative potential of the electric field, and there is a drift of holes from the n region into the p region. So my dear students, this due to the presence of electric field, the drift current will flow inside the junction, and this is due to the minority charge carriers. Minority charge carriers. So once the electric field is established across the p-n junction, the drift of the minority charge carriers will take place and it will produce a current. Now initially what will happen? The diffusion current will be greater than the drift current initially. So initially, the diffusion current is greater. Initial, this is initial. It is greater than which current? The drift current. But after some time, one equilibrium position or state will attain. So at equilibrium, the diffusion current will be equal to, okay, the diffusion current will be equal to that of the drift current. This is at equilibrium position. Okay, students, once the equilibrium is attained, the diffusion current is equal to the drift current. That means the p-n junction formation is over. Now one greatest important point I am going to tell you. Now due to the diffusion of the majority charge carriers in opposite directions, you can see that there is a potential difference which is created within the crystal lattice. Is it not? How it is created? The electron from the n region went into the p region and recombined with the hole. And this electron negative charge will be strongly added to the crystal lattice so that it becomes immobile ions. So this creates a potential difference. This acts like a barrier for the further migration of the charges, and hence this voltage or the potential difference created across the junction is going to be called as potential barrier, internal potential barrier, or barrier potential, That is why we have used a symbol what VB. So this is called as what barrier potential. So it acts like a potential barrier. Okay, students. And for silicon diode, I mean for silicon p-n junction, for silicon this VB is equal to 0.7 volt, and for germanium, okay, for germanium, this value of VB is equal to 0.3 volt. Okay, students. Now, what is that most interesting thing which is happening? I wanted to say is, you look at this region of the internal potential barrier. You can see only the immobile ions. See, these are all the immobile ions. What do you mean by immobile? Can they move freely? Can they be called as free charge carriers? No, they are immobile. They cannot move. Can you see anywhere inside this region like holes and electrons above this circle? Can you see? No, because they have recombined. They have recombined and neutralized with each other. So there is no availability of free charge carriers in this region. Understand, students? So in this region of width 1 micrometer or 1/10 of a micrometer, we are unable to see any free charge carriers because it is depleted of. This region is depleted of the free charge carriers like the electrons and the holes. So this region of width 1 micron to 1/10 of a micron is called as depletion region. Understand, students? So this region is called as what? Depletion region. Why this is called as a depletion region? Because this region is depleted of the free charge carriers. Charges are of course present, but they are not free charge carriers. They are due to immobile ions, which are firmly packed within the crystal lattice so that they cannot move that easily. So this region is called as what? Internal potential barrier and also the depletion region. Have you all understood? So this internal potential barrier of about 0.7 volt for silicon and 0.3 volt for germanium acts as if a small battery is kept inside the crystal. So it can be compared with an internal battery of voltage 0.7 and 0.3 respectively for silicon and germanium. Have you all understood? Okay, fine, students. Now I have told you when the P and the N type semiconductors are joined side to side, the common region of contact only is called as what? P-N junction. So the moment junction is formed, what are the two processes which are going to take place? One is diffusion. Second one is drift. What is diffusion? I said due to the difference in the concentration of the majority charge carriers. Majority charge carriers. The holes from the p region will drift into the n region, and the electrons which are the majority charge carriers in the n region drift into the p region. During this process, there will be recombination of holes and free electrons. As a result, the row of atoms on the n side of the junction will donate the electrons and become donor impurity ions, namely positive ions. And the p region of the junction will accept the electrons and they become acceptor impurity ions, namely the negative ions. As a result, an electric field is established. Once this electric field is established, the minority charge carriers will now be drifting in opposite direction. Understand, students? So in this in your textbook, the direction of all these currents are given. Okay, the direction of the currents are given, and the direction and the, see here, for example, you see here in this what is the direction of diffusion? This is the diffusion of holes. Okay, students. So this is the direction of diffusion of holes. So opposite, this will be what the direction of what diffusion of electrons. This is the direction of diffusion of electrons. Now can you tell me what is the direction of drift? Drift of these holes and electrons, in which direction the drift? See, diffusion of holes is in this direction, means now towards this positive only. Okay, the electrons will drift. So here drift of electrons. Okay, drift of electrons, and opposite will be the direction of what? Drift of holes. Drift of the holes. So the drift of the holes and the electrons is mainly due to the formation of an electric field across the junction. Okay, this is the positive pole and this is the negative pole, is it not? So this is positive, negative means this will be the direction of the electric field. So this also is very important. The direction of the electric field is from the positive towards the negative. So in multiple choice question in the board examination and in MCQs in the competitive examinations like the NEET and the JEE, one question based on this is always being repeatedly asked. Now what is the direction of drift of the electrons? Direction of the drift of the electrons is opposite to the direction of the electric field. Direction of drift of holes is along the direction of electric field. Like that, the diffusion of electrons will be along the direction of electric field. The diffusion of the holes will be against the direction of the electric field. Okay, students. So what are the two types of currents involved during the formation of this PN junction? One is diffusion current, the other one is drift current. Initially, as soon as the contact is made, the diffusion current will be greater than the drift current. But after some time, once the PN junction is established, an equilibrium state will be attained. At equilibrium state, both the diffusion current and the drift current will be equal. Okay, students? And the diffusion current is mainly due to the flow of what? Majority charge carriers. And the drift current is due to whom? The flow of minority charge carriers. Okay, students. Now in our textbook, one more diagram is given like this. The potential difference will be shown like this. So there is a slope like this. Okay, students. This is the N side and the P side of the junction, and this is the internal potential barrier. This internal potential barrier. It can also be expressed in volt. Okay, 0.7 for silicon and 0.3 volt for germanium. Okay, students. So the width of this internal potential barrier we are also comparing to that of resistance in the future topics. Okay, students. I hope you must have understood the formation of the internal potential barrier at the PN junction. Suppose if you give metallic connections to the two ends of the PN junction. Okay, students, this is P region, N region, and if you keep some metal contact with the wire connections, means then this divides only is also called by the name diode. Okay, students, when a PN junction is provided with metallic contacts on both sides and given electrical connections to external circuit means, then this device is called by the name junction diode or PN junction diode, and its symbol, its electrical symbol is circuit symbol will be like this. Okay, so these are the two electrical connections. This triangle region is positive, that is represented by P region, and this vertical line represents the N region and represented by N. Okay, students, after this, now the diode itself is having one battery inside. In addition to this, if you connect a battery to this diode from outside external circuit, then the diode is said to be biased. When no battery is connected to the diode means it is unbiased. Understand, students? So we can connect the battery to this diode in two ways, and we are going to study the next topic. See you. Bye.